Coming up, construction begins for a new DaAi Educare Center in Tampin, Malaysia. With the help from Tzu Chi, we see how scholarship recipient Lian Xiaoshuang breaks the cycle of poverty. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. We start today's show in Malaysia. To expand Tzu Chi's education mission in Tampin, the local Tzu Chi liaison office decided to establish a DaAi Educare Center, which began constructions on February 14th. The center is expected to be completed by September of this year. Hopefully, through this establishment, Tzu Chi's humanitarianism can take root locally and propagate.
The groundbreaking ceremony marks the start of construction of the new DaAi Educare Center in Tampin, Malaysia.
祝淡边慈济大爱幼儿园第0人节校运昌荣。
As Master Chen Yan said, education needs to take root deeply. Thus, we began to plan for the building of this new education center. Despite the tremendous challenges and obstacles we have encountered, we remain determined.
From the purchase of a suitable land to the design of the building, local Tzu Chi volunteers have been working diligently for the past 3 years to realize this project, overcoming all obstacles along the way.
I hope our team will be able to provide the best service at this facility, so as to reciprocate the residents who have supported us throughout the years.
We will continue to work for the betterment of mankind in hopes that more people will be inspired to join our ranks.
Located ideally in a residential area, the new DaAi Educare Center shall enable volunteers to carry out Tzu Chi's humanitarian education mission to the fullest, but also inspire more people to join Tzu Chi.
In Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers from Jakarta and Medan celebrated the Lunar New Year by spreading the joy to seniors in nursing homes in their respective areas. As it's quite lonely living away from family for most nursing home residents, these visits by Tzu Chi volunteers often fill the familiar void in their lives.
In Indonesia, Tzu Chis interact with the residents of this home as they together celebrate the Lunar New Year. Tzu Chi volunteers from Medan are also here to give the seniors' rooms a thorough cleaning.
During this festive time, seniors often hope their kids and grandchildren will come visit them. We are happy to come here to help clean up their rooms and take a meal with them to cheer them up for the holidays.
The seniors of the home change into auspicious red t-shirts while waiting for the volunteers to finish preparing their New Year's banquet. It is such thoughtful gestures that have moved Hamina, an ideal resident of this nursing home.
Kedatangan Yayasan Buddha Tzu Chi senang, Oma?
Senang.
Senang. Oma sayang?
Sayang.
Pengen nggak Oma Yayasan Tzu Chi ini datang lagi kemari, Oma?
Dingin lah. Baik kali.
In Jakarta, seniors from the Mulia nursing home are also waiting for the arrival of the angels in blue and white. Upon arrival, some volunteers give seniors haircut, while others chat with the elderly as a way to show they care.
Visiting this place really reminds us of our own parents. We should really treat these seniors just like we would the elderly in our own family.
My other half passed away, leaving me all alone. I'm really happy to receive so many visitors.
Tzu Chi's love and care has successfully opened up this senior and others like her.
Next, we turn our camera to China, where Tzu Chi volunteers from Guangdong, Shanghai, and Tianjin also visited nursing home residents during the Chinese New Year.
Although this nursing home in Tianjin is small, it is filled with a cozy and warm atmosphere brought by the visiting Tzu Chi volunteers.
When parting with the grandpas and grandmas, I saw the reluctance and longing on their faces. I almost cried.
真的，我刚才我差点真的掉眼泪。
Because they are deprived of companionship, I can tell that the seniors were reluctant to say goodbye to us. People naturally find it hard to say goodbye to beautiful things in life.
Here at this nursing home in Guangdong, seniors and volunteers bond over making handmade cards. Chen Liqing, who has bonded deeply with the seniors throughout the years, will be moving back to Taiwan permanently, and thus saying goodbye is especially hard. A 93-year-old grandma in Shanghai decided to donate her handmade baby shoes for Tzu Chi to raise funds for its winter relief distributions.
每一双婴儿鞋里面都有一句话。
我92，
我92，改口了一句
精神
啊，
必见，
精神必见，
保护孩子，
保护孩子。
长命百岁。
Filling every loop and every stitch with her love, Miao Yuzhi and other seniors like her have learned the joys of giving despite their age.
As people nowadays mostly work a desk job, prolonged periods of sitting and little exercise means our body cannot burn up all the food we eat, and therefore we put on weight. But for some people, the pounds just add up so much quicker, while losing weight is next to impossible even when they do all the right things. The reason may lie in their genes.
My name is Lian Xiaoshuang. I'm 28 years old. I can't exercise hard, so I walk for an hour every day. My weight fluctuates, but it's definitely on the heavy side.
A young man, Liao Fengxi seems strong and tall, but in the eyes of nutritionists, he is obese.
Your waistline is 117 centimeters. That's a lot more than the limit of 90 centimeters. Your BMI is 34.5. Typically, an adult male over 30 years old should keep his BMI under 25. Since your BMI is 34.5, it means you have more fat in your body and less water. So you are overweight because you have too much fat in your body.
Obesity is a modern-day disease, as people nowadays live an inactive lifestyle and sit in front of a TV or computer for extended periods. For computer engineers like Liao, obesity is a serious threat to their health.
If there is no need to get up, I would just sit down all the time. Of course, when I get thirsty and need some water, I will force myself to get up. Otherwise, I did just sit.
Now, Liao tries to exercise whenever he gets a break, as everyone knows that eating in moderation and regular exercise can help shave off the extra pounds.
If the calories he burns exceed the calories of the carbohydrates he eats, then the fat in his body will be used up slowly.
Actually, Liao exercises just about as much as a regular person.
I make sure I exercise more. I work out for about 2 hours every day.
For the sake of his health, Liao rarely eats out. For tonight's dinner, his mom has prepared mixed congee.
有红萝卜、洋葱、菠菜、高丽菜，菜比较多，所以你看起来分量很多，事实上它的饭没有很多。
Actually, I would like him to lose some weight because it's healthier.
For some overweight people, their body simply piles up the pounds a lot easier, while losing weight is close to impossible. They are often ridiculed for being lazy and for their lack of a proper diet and active lifestyle. However, if they are already eating properly and exercising, then the cause of their obesity may lie somewhere else.
For those that just can't shake off the extra pounds, one of the reasons may be that their body simply likes to store up a lot of fat as energy reserves to be used later.
According to the WHO, from 1980 to 2008, obesity numbers have doubled worldwide. Because of our genetic makeup, everyone's metabolism works differently.
Some people might have trouble processing the sugar in their body, while for others, it might be fats or proteins. Because the way our body works is related to our genetic makeup.
Over the past decade, due to advancements in technology, scientists have been able to study obesity in a whole new light.
那我现在会在你的左边这边，就是采取你的黏膜。
DNA samples can now be collected and sent to DNA sequencing for analysis on the molecular level to find the gene that is causing obesity.
我现在要把肥胖基因片段纯化出来放大。
Through such analysis, a whole new way to fight obesity can be formulated. By unlocking the secrets hidden within our DNA, we might have a better grip over our overall health in the future.
Over the years, Changchun City of Jilin Province, China, has seen a boom in economic prosperity. However, the nearby Da'an City has yet to benefit from this change. As most of the residents in the city still farm for a living, their livelihoods are tied to harvests. And unfortunately, without fertile land to farm, many residents live in hardship. Thankfully, in 2013, Tzu Chi volunteers walked into this poverty-stricken area to offer scholarship programs to help needy students realize their dreams. Next, we meet scholarship recipient Lian Xiaoshuang to see how the Buddhist NGO has changed her life for the better. I went out of town to pursue an education when I was 12 years old. I was the only child in my village that did so. My mother cried a lot back then because she missed me. I told myself I have to make my parents proud.
A mud brick house at the mercy of the elements is where Lian Xiaoshuang and her family of 6 call home.
I used to sit on top of the bed stove and use the dinner table as my reading desk.
Lian Xiaoshuang says her memory of her childhood was one filled with poverty and hardship. 2 years ago, Lian's father was incarcerated, and now Xiaoshuang's mother is the sole breadwinner for the family. In fact, Lian's mother, Bai Dongmei, is the only woman in the village that knows how to operate a field cultivator. This 400 square meter piece of land is where Bai works day and night to make ends meet. Following poor harvests, the family often has to live on less than $1,600 a year.
Whenever I feel sad, I just go home and cry for a bit. I always feel better after crying. I think I have gotten used to the hardship.
Last year, the family moved into a new home built by the local government. Despite the limited space the house afforded, the family is still very content. Knowing that Xiaoshuang is often not around, her 6-year-old brother sees this time to play with her. Upon seeing the pictures Tzu Chi volunteers took for him on their last visit, the boy breaks into a smile.
He is very curious about everything, even this camera, because he has never seen one before. My son is 6 years old and he doesn't know anything. I'm very worried because he needs to go to school. Education is the only way to a brighter future. I will try my best to provide for my family no matter what. As long as I stay strong, my children will do the same.
My mother never complains about how tired she is. She always tells me to dress warm and eat well whenever she calls me. I really hope someone can take good care of my mom.
Knowing the hardship her mother endures, Lian always made sure to strive for good grades, efforts that eventually won her a scholarship from Tzu Chi. Besides offering tuition aid, the volunteers also visit Lian's family on a regular basis to offer encouragement. With the volunteer support and assistance, now the family has a bigger piece of land to farm. This semester, Lian Xiaoshuang was first in her class. With such good grades, she has a good chance of getting into a top college.
Auntie Xinming told me that love can transcend all boundaries. Her love for our family has done so much for me.
好久了。要不要他刚到的时候，我家那个他爸也在家的时候，我们说该你去照了一张。就站着吧，站着。就还是他抱的时候，对。
Lian says she wants to give this photo to her father to let him know that with Tzu Chi volunteers by their side, they'll stay strong and wait for his return.
In North Jakarta, Indonesia, weeks of heavy rainfall caused massive flooding throughout the city. In some areas, the floodwaters even reached chest high. Volunteers from the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter have prepared blankets, clothes, and daily necessities for 350 policemen affected by the flood.
Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at the North Jakarta Metro Police Department not for anything else, but to care for the policemen, the guardians of society.
We experienced heavy rainfall in North Jakarta over the past few weeks, and about 350 policemen were trapped in water waist high because the police dormitory was flooded. As a result, many of them could not come to work for almost 3 days.
When the flood hit, many policemen were still on duty. Only when they got back did they realize that the water had already reached chest high.
The refrigerator, chair, washer, and closet were all ruined.
Terus bangku, kursi-kursi ya, semuanya kerendam.
In the past, the Indonesian police have always collaborated with Tzu Chi to carry out disaster relief on behalf of others. Now that they have fallen victim to the flood themselves, volunteers have brought blankets, clothes, and daily necessities to the police station to help.
Our assistance only came after the floods. We didn't know about their situation when it happened. The supplies came from private businesses.
Assistance and donation poured in from all corners in the hope that these guardians of society may recover from the disaster as quickly as possible.
On February 16th, a fire tore through a poor community in Pasay City of the Greater Manila area in the Philippines. The 4 a.m. blaze devastated over 350 families and even claimed the lives of 4 people. Seeing the urgency of the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers brought their signature comfort to help ease the anxiety of the victims of the senseless tragedy. A fire tore through an impoverished community in Pasay City of the Philippines. Upon learning of the news, volunteers set out to conduct a disaster assessment.
Pagising namin, sabing sunog-sunog, may umano na dito dumaan, nataranta na kami.
It is really painful for us because tragedy seems to be following us.
The 4 a.m. fire destroyed everything in its path. Residents had no time to pack their belongings, and some even lost their loved ones. Besides handing out consolation cash for those who lost loved ones, volunteers also distributed rice, sleeping mats, blankets, and clothes.
This is a big help to us already, the blanket, sleeping mat, and food.
In such delicate times, volunteers remain by the survivors' side, helping them to rebuild their lives one step at a time. Today, we get to know 68-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer Lian Xiaoshuang and see how listening to the master's teaching each morning has helped her ease the pain of losing her husband 4.5 years ago. Due to Liao's change of outlook on life after watching the morning broadcast at the Tzu Chi Taipei chapter house, she found it hard to believe that the liaison office closest to her residence didn't offer the broadcast. Thus, she set out to fulfill this need.
At
such a young age, Lian Xiaoshuang's granddaughter already knows about kindness and compassion.
She was born on June 16th, the day of the Dragon Boat Festival. My husband's funeral service was on June 15th. She was born the next day prematurely.
4.5 years ago, Liao's husband, Li Jinyi, passed away from liver cancer. The family portrait Liao holds in her hands was taken before her husband's death.
When my daughter heard that her dad had cancer, she immediately came back to Taiwan from Canada with her 2 children and husband. She said she wanted to spend time with her father. If they didn't, they would regret it for the rest of their lives. They could always earn more money, but family comes first.
Thinking back to the beginning of her now some 20 years in Tzu Chi, it was her husband who was adamant that Liao should join Tzu Chi.
He asked me to walk the Tzu Chi path, and now he's gone. It was only 7 months from the time we discovered that he had cancer to when he passed. He was really only in the hospital for 18 days. He didn't really suffer much. He just slipped into a hepatic encephalopathy. But it wasn't too deep of a coma either. He was such a blessed man. He was very clearly able to tell me how to handle things. He told me not to resuscitate him and that he was sorry to be leaving me.
Sometimes the passing of time is the only way to heal the loss of a loved one. The past year or so of listening to the Master's morning Dharma lecture has helped Liao step out from the shadows of despair.
I wake up every morning filled with the Dharma. I thank the heavens and the earth for gifting me with my health. In addition, I want to thank my husband, as it is because of his death that I am able to devote myself more fully to gaining enlightenment.
Taking notes during Master Denyen's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast not only helps the message take root in her heart, but also eases the pain.
I'm very grateful for the Master's teachings and that we are able to gain the Dharma each morning. When we receive spiritual sustenance each day, we can quickly change our thinking to a more positive light.
Knowing the benefits of the Dharma, in December 2013, Liao helped turn the Zhongshan Liaison Office into a broadcast venue for the Master's lectures each morning.
It happened to be a day of our monthly training seminar, and Brother Cho Yu-tai came to me as he had heard me talking to the building manager earlier on, how we were unable to gather at the liaison office to watch the Master's broadcast like the other Tzu Chi officers. He then told me we can ask the security company to set up a sensor outside. We can ask the security guards to activate the sensors at night, then I just have to deactivate them each morning.
In charge of opening the doors each morning, Liao also takes a moment to sweep clean the surroundings while waiting for others to join her. Liao has even learned how to operate the electronic equipment needed to connect the broadcast. The ups and downs in her life have all been transformed into wisdom and recorded down as part of her lecture notes.
As my husband encouraged me to become a Tzu Chi commissioner, I should double my efforts in Tzu Chi to reciprocate. And I also should always remember to have gratitude in my heart.
Back to the Philippines at the end of the program, Tzu Chi volunteers from around Quezon City held a Lunar New Year celebration in the mostly Chinese residential area of Ayala Heights Village. Residents were happy to see Tzu Chi volunteers once again since receiving help from Typhoon Haiyan. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.